This is Anthony with True Diamond Heart, continuing our video series on how to live in authenticity, beauty, and peace. Please make sure that you have a few minutes to devote to yourself in relative quiet. There can be distractions, but you're not going to allow yourself to be distracted by them, like the puppy there, like the rain behind, like all of the various distractions. Nothing that will really pull us out, no crying children, no emergencies. We're just going to be here and enter into the experience of authenticity that is beauty, like the puppy, like the tree. It makes you happy. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's authentic. It's real. So now please close your eyes, make a decision. I, the ears that hear, the voice that speaks, am here now for the next few minutes, decided with my holy, divine power of choice. I exercise that choice to decide firmly that I am here now. There is nothing I need to do. There is nothing I need to be, nowhere I need to go, nothing I need to think or feel. There is indeed sounds and distractions sometimes, has nothing to do with this decision, which is to be here now in the freedom of this moment. I begin to feel the energy within my body that is the animating force of life. The life energy within my body is what makes me something more than a pile of earth, water, air, and fire in space. It is that which imbues me with the power of self-conscious awareness. Now there is consciousness everywhere, but this particular quality of consciousness, the ability to be conscious of consciousness, is uniquely human on Earth. Perhaps other species share some degree of it. Human beings in the image of the divine feel that energy, feel that life force coursing, pulsating, vibrating within your skin and the skin itself as it starts to emanate beyond the confines of your skin. See it as light. See the light within your body, the light that is your skin, and see yourself as a sun, as a star, as a light emanating. What does light do? It shines in all directions. You begin to shine in all directions. The energy of your being starts to fill the room you're in, expands beyond the room you're in, fills the state, the city, the province, fills the air, saturates the earth, permeates the earth, goes through the earth, up into the sky in all directions, into the puppy behind me, into all the people around you, simply washing through, encompassing, enveloping, and including all. Your consciousness is no longer bound by any particular form. It continues to expand, engulfing the moon, the other planets, the stars, the sun, all the stars near and far, relatively, every corner of manifest reality. And you'll start to realize that this expansive life, light energy that is your consciousness is actually creating space as it moves. It is pushing the boundaries of manifestation, actually creating reality in all directions. Allow it to saturate the past so there is no past. Allow it to saturate the future so there is no future. All that there is this pure, expanding sense of life, light energy. There's a voice, and within this you can feel your body, and yet your body is both distinct and one with the expansive energy that we are now feeling, that we are now participating in, that we are now creating, that is creating us and we are creating simultaneously. There is no longer creator and creation, there is simply being and consciousness permeating all things. And at this same moment, there's also a body, a separated body that is within this. Now this body is the center of this entire expansive universe, and yet so is every other body, so is the space between bodies, so is the non-manifest before bodies, and so is the post-manifest after all bodies fade back to potentiality. Yes, it's that grand, and yet that simple. See in front of you a mirror, that mirror that you look in every day. Every day you look in that mirror and you see imperfections, and you see things that you like and that you don't like, that you wish were like they used to be, that you hope will get better. See that mirror. See that being that you've identified as yourself most of the time, if not all of the time, in that mirror. Bless that being. Bless that reflection. That reflection is not you. It is a reflection. It's a reflection that's seen through the lens of distorted perception, because you can't see who you really are. Who you really are is the expansive light that we have opened to before we came back to this little tiny speck of reflection that takes so much of our time and attention. Now look at that reflection in the mirror. At the same time, don't lose the context of the grand, ever-expansive light, life energy that is your undifferentiated, unbounded consciousness. Now that little reflected image, fill it with the light, life energy that you've expanded into and become. Allow it to simply dissolve into the surrounding energy, into the surrounding life, into the surrounding light, into the surrounding truth. Now that reflection is no longer anything more than one non-center and yet center of all things, without center and with center. Amazing. Manifest the reflection again. Do you notice how now as you manifest it, it's softer, it's less threatening? Manifest it though, bring it back. Shower it. Permeate it, saturate it with this love, light energy that is your expanded consciousness. This reflection is simply an idea, and like all ideas, it will come into existence, have its moment, and fade back into that which is the potentiality of all thought. Love that image with the truth of your expanded consciousness, with the eternal being of your life light consciousness. Love that image until it again fades into the fabric of undifferentiated, boundless space and eternal timelessness. Bring it back again. You notice it's getting harder and harder to bring that image back. It's seeming so unimportant, isn't it? Let it go. We don't even need to bring it back anymore. Simply stay with the unbounded ease and comfort of your being. You are all that is, all that was, and all that will be. Now manifest in your mind's eye. We will create a center. We are in the image of the divine. And what does the divine do? The divine is the creator. What are we in the image of the divine besides creators? We are simply way stations, simply servers in the intergalactic, universal internet, where this place where different things cross, and there's a manifestation of creation and creativity within the overall structure and structurelessness of creativity and created and creation. In the image of the creator, in the image of the divine, we create a center in front of us, and in this center we picture one beautiful plant. It's an oak tree, but look at it, it's just a baby. It's just sprouted from the earth, from the acorn. You can see the acorn just sprouting from the earth, and you can see the roots, because there's no bounding. Matter doesn't limit our perception, limit our vision. We can see the roots growing deeper into the earth and growing in the exact proportion to the growing of the stalk and the branches that are starting to sprout and grow. Just like us, this tree reaches deep into the earth to connect to the physical reality that it is, to ground itself in Mother Earth, at the same time reaching vertically. You see it growing towards Father Sun, towards Father Sky, towards the eternal unmanifest. Yes, and it grows and it becomes thick and mighty. Feel it, watch it. This is the center of all creation, just as is your little finger the center of all creation, as is your brother-in-law's toe, as is the plant outside of your window, as is the earth in Inner Mongolia, as is the star furthest from us, as is the idea that just came into your head and disappeared. Each and every one is the center of the centerless and omni-centered reality of your present, all-encompassing, boundless, ever-expansive consciousness, awareness, being. And yet, in the image of the Creator, we have created a center that is the oak tree that digs its roots deeper, and now it's mighty. It is a mighty oak tree. Do you see the mighty oak tree in your mind's eye? It is the center of the universe that you created. Now focus on one leaf of this mighty oak tree. Just pick one leaf. Zoom in your mind's eye. Pick a leaf. Look at that leaf. You can see it kind of shining in green, right? It's kind of shiny. Beautiful. Can you feel the ease of that leaf? That leaf is the separated, differentiated, identified leaf among thousands and millions of leaves on this mighty oak tree. Yet it is separate, it is different. Yet just like all the others, step back a little bit. Now you can see 500 leaves. It's disappeared into the green, and yet it is still with its identity. But what is the greater identity? The greater identity is tree. The overall identity is being. Tree, stalk, stem, leaf, flower, root. With distance, it's just tree. Zoom in and we see the little pieces of little structure of each part of the bark is different from every other part of the bark. Every leaf is slightly different. Individual, unique, expressing perfection, and yet expressing tree. Each of its cells holding the entire genetic blueprint for the whole tree. Just as you, in your individuated self, in your embodied self that started this meditation, that you can still feel if you wish to bring your consciousness there without losing the expansive, divine consciousness of all. This separated body that you live in. This is one leaf on the tree of life. Yes, fully individual, fully different, and yet, just like all the other leaves, holding the genetic blueprint for the entire reality of all of creation. As you can see, we're unbounding our consciousness. The leaf consciousness is blending and becoming tree consciousness. And we can be both tree consciousness and leaf consciousness, both divine, all-inclusive, omnipotent, boundless, timeless, eternal consciousness, and individual, time-bound, body-bound consciousness. At this moment, if you're fully here in this moment of both universal tree consciousness and individual leaf consciousness, there is no conflict. There is no conflict. It may not make sense that you can be separate yet connecting, all things yet one separate tiny little cell, one tiny leaf, and yet entire tree. But this isn't something that we do to make our minds happy. This is something we do to contact reality, which needs no permission. It does not need our consent or our understanding. Simply, we are all, and we are embodied, separated, tiny parts of all that hold all within it and reflect all. This is the center. Where is the center? It's everywhere. Where is the center? There is no center. This needn't make sense. Don't let your mind pull you out of this concept. This is authentic being. You are not conflicted. Your mind wants to bring conflict in. It wants to tell you how things don't make sense. It's impossible. You have to make dinner. There's something more exciting on Instagram. Yes, That's what your mind wants to do, but we're not permitting it to do so. The mind is not the boss. There is something so much grander here. And the grandeur is the authenticity. Is it beautiful? Is the tree beautiful? Is the leaf beautiful? Am I the ears that hear, the voice that speaks, the heart that generates this, the oak tree that generates everything, that is everything? Is it beautiful? Beyond measure. Is it peaceful? Absolutely. Did that car that passed by disturb the peace? Not at all. Why should it? It's simply part of the boundless consciousness, the boundless experience that's always revealing. Now it's a jet, now it's another car, then it's the puppy, then it's pleasure, then it's pain. Just distractions, and yet very important on that level. But that level is not the primary level. This is the primary level. This is the level of creation, creativity, and all that ever was, is, and will be. And this is where authenticity lives. Once we go through the endarkening process, once a man, twice a child, once a woman, twice a child, once an adult, twice a child, from the childhood innocence into the endarkening adoption of an idea that this separated leaf consciousness, this separated body is something that is so unique and special and unbelievable and is measured against others and has all these rules and identifications. Once we go through that and we start to liberate that as we're doing right now and go back into the childlike innocence, and the childlike understanding that the mind knows nothing and it needn't know anything. We need simply be with truth, and in truth to be authentic. And then there's nothing to prove to ourselves or to anybody else. And it is by definition beautiful. And it is by definition peaceful. Peace is by definition authentic. Beauty, truth, authenticity, peace. This is the state of love, which is also the state of authenticity. The state of beauty, of compassion, of kindness. Stay with your authenticity. We're going to come out of this meditation slowly. Come back to your embodied consciousness. Feel your body again. Be a little bit more aware of your body. Allow that which was beyond the body and all expansive to slowly, slowly just dissolve and come back to everyday consciousness. You can open your eyes if you want. You can feel your body if you want. Maybe that'll help you become embodied. Don't go using sharp knives or driving cars or anything like that until you're in a normal state of mind where you can function safely. Sometimes this divine experience, divine consciousness can be disorienting until we get used to it. And we don't want to be disoriented when we're dealing with things that can cause us personal danger or other people danger. Make sure you're in your normal frame of mind, and yet never forget that that which we just contacted is always available and can be the informing principle rather than me being the informing principle. I will impose my will on the universe. Perhaps the will of the universe needs to impose its will through me in authenticity. Then I don't need to prove anything. I simply am. It will happen automatically. Just as the child or the cat or the plant, these beings don't operate out of sense of what should I do, what need I do, how do I prove to myself that I'm a nice person, a strong person, I can win, I can lose, being a loser is just the same as being a winner. It's just a simple, erroneous identification. I am not a winner, I am not a loser, I am. I, the ears that hear, you am. I are, we am. Yeah, that consciousness that we just experienced permeates everything. It is authenticity, it is ease. Peace is ease, right? But it's an ease that doesn't depend on circumstances. The car went by, the jet was overhead, the cat was meowing, and none of it may need someone walking behind the camera now. None of this need distract us. It's all happening. Perhaps I do need to cook dinner or I need to do something. That needn't keep me away from the consciousness and the awareness of what is magnificent and at ease. And I don't have to try. All trying is distraction. Trying, if it's impersonal, if it's effort, is different from trying to be something. Trying to be a good person, trying to be smart, trying to be liked, trying to think positive. Just simply be, and from that will flow the authenticity that is beautiful, that is peaceful, that is truthful, loving, and aware. You just experienced authenticity. You experienced the edges of heaven, divinity, truth, and beauty, peace. That is yours. No one gave that to you. That is yours. That is who you are fundamentally. And that is who you can be always. It doesn't matter. It's a noisy car. Something just appeared on my screen, on my phone screen. I don't need to read it. I don't need to be distracted. I can simply be here at this moment. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing that I need to do, be, on any level. There are always things to do, and yes, I do need to be what it is I am as a profession. I do need to be a car driver, but these are not personal things that I need to be. There is no person that I need to be. I simply am. I simply am. And you see how I'm saying, and in actually allowing myself to be, my shoulders relaxed. See the shoulders just relaxed? The entire being just became more beautiful, more authentic, more true, more peaceful. Simply by accepting the fact that I am. And what I do and who I need to be on this earth will flow automatically from that and naturally. Guaranteed. We'll see you next time for more on living in authenticity, beauty, and truth.